Here we are the second day for Violet Python 3. And so the first thing you have to do is get Python working. So there's that's the first project here. And so if you have a Mac or Linux, you've already got Python and you don't need to do anything else. There's an online sandbox from some site called to.run that will let you run some Python, but you'll discover quickly that although you can run simple things like string processing, you cannot connect to the network because they're afraid that you would use their Python machine to attack somebody. So to have any real fun, you need your own local Python. And so then you have to install it. Either make sure you've got it on a Mac or Linux, make sure Python 3 works. If you have Windows, you have to install it, which is much easier than it used to be. It used to be quite a chore to make Python run on Windows. Any Linux-based software like this never pays attention to Microsoft's constantly changing installation requirements. But in the latest one, they finally made this thing work, right? Adds Python to the path, which was the part that was not working for many years. So anyway, you should be able to get Python working on your Windows, and you should be fine to install this on any machine you want to use. It's not harmful. And then you can create some programs and see some flags. So let me just, the requests library is here. Let me just start with that one, and then I'll move on and talk about the first challenge beyond that. So I've got my Mac here, and I can probably run this stuff just directly right here. If I type Python 3, I get the interactive mode of Python, which is one way to use it. And you can just type 1 and you'll see 1 and 1 plus 1 and you'll see 2 and things like that. But here I'm probably going to make a program. So let me make, you have to exit with exit open and close parentheses because it's a function. And let me make a directory demo. All right. Demo 2. All right. Demo 3. Let's see if there's anything I can make that doesn't exist. Okay, cd demo 3. All right, so if I make a program with any text editor, this is going to be r.py, then I can put in these commands. Now let's just see if they're going to work here. All right, and it may not because I may have trouble getting requests working on the Mac directly, but let's see, Python 3, r.py. Good, okay. So let's take a look at that program and talk a bit. This is where I started. This is the simplest way to make a web request on the internet. Now you do have to install the requests library, which may not be included in your Python by default, but you do that with this Python 3-m pip install requests. And then you can import requests, and this is why all the Python we're going to do is very easy. There's two reasons for that. One I mentioned yesterday, which is I don't even know very much Python. I don't know any of the complicated stuff. I never use it. The other thing is other people have already done all the work in Python. They have made libraries that do everything you might want to do. And all you have to do is import the library and use it. So you really don't have to do much in the way of coding to do anything simple. So you import the requests library, and here's how you use it. You can perform a GET request with requests.get. Then you just give it the URL. That will just do an ordinary GET, and it will create a request object, which includes quite a few different things, like the header and the status code and the body of the page that comes down. And so this particular part, I'm just printing out the status code. You can see more. And so let me just to play with this a little bit in the interactive mode. If I go back to Python 3, here, you can do your coding right here, which is the way I first learned to code, you know, with just a command line interactive basic on a Commodore VIC-20. You can just type commands one by one here, like import, requests. You don't even need to save a file or run a program. You just execute commands one by one. So I could now do this same command and fetch my web page. And now I've created an object called R. And if I want to know what I can do with R, I could do a directory of R. Everything is an object in Python. So here's all the things that R has. These are the attributes and methods of the object R. So it has something called headers, and something called content, and something called status code, and URL, so I can just try looking for some of them. I can print, say, r.url. All right, and that's the URL. Here's the content. Let's see what that is. All right, the content is the HTML content. And let's get the directory again. There's something called reason. I wonder what that is. Oh, I think I know what that is. We're going to look. No. I spelled. All right, I can't. Oh, it did a directory of r-reason instead of a print r-reason. Now I see print. Yeah, that's what I thought. Remember, if you do a response, it shows you 200. Okay, people ask if I'm displaying this in Twitch. Yes, it's in Twitch. Yes, you should be looking at the Twitch. All right. Let's see if there are any other questions I should be answering here. Good. Okay, good. All right, yeah. So, and the Twitch is here. Let me put the URL in the chat. Copy link address. All right, let me put this for everyone. Good. Yeah, there's the Twitch. Good. All right. When I run the request program, I get an error. All right. This is enough of this, I think. Let me stop this recording.